Today, we're going to talk about the art of listening, so stay tuned to People. Hello, and welcome to People with your host, Lucas Hart. If you like the stuff that you find on this channel, the content on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. Make sure, because we are here every day or every week trying to help people become better connected, help people to become better people, help people to be able to better interact with one another. And that's the whole message behind this. I've got a lot of years experience and things in working with people, so I just want to be able to share that with you. So today we're talking about something which is a very, very important people skill, and that is the art of listening. I mean, everybody can talk. Lord knows I am the king of talk, but I also have to be well versed in being able to listen. You know, the old adage says that God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, because he wants you to listen twice as much as you talk. And that's very true. That is an extremely true statement, because the importance of listening is that you don't really get to know someone unless you listen to understand them. Now, a lot of times we'll listen just enough to be able to respond to what somebody's saying, but honestly, we need to listen for the intent of understanding other people. And there's a difference in the way that you approach that. So today, we're going to go through some practical tips to help you be a better listener. You know, the importance of listening is almost self-explanatory. I think everyone has been told that, you know, being able to be engaged in a conversation, being able to be able to get to know and feel and empathize with that person. It's deeper than just being present with the person and hearing them say stuff. You need to be engaged. You need to be responsive to what they're saying and be able to take in and understand what they're saying. So I'm going to give you 10 tips today on how to be a better listener. I mean, we all know the value in it, but let's look at what's some things that can help me. There's some things that personally help me be a better listener, because I've often struggled with this. So hopefully my struggle can become all of our success. So stay tuned, and we're going to come up with 10 tips to be a better listener. Okay, tip number 1. Always remember that listening is a win-win situation, okay? Keep in mind that if I listen, I'm going to win. And if I listen to them, they're going to win. So you always keep that in mind, that you're showing wisdom, you're showing prowess. So make sure that you understand and keep the mindset that listening is a win-win situation. I can respond better, I can understand better, and if I don't interrupt and try to interject myself always when somebody's trying to talk to me, but if I actually take in what they're saying before I respond, or once I understand what they're saying, then I can have a better assessment of that person. I can, and they have a greater value in me. They see me as someone wiser. They see me as someone that they can turn to and they can come to. It enhances my ability to connect with them. So always think of listening as a win-win. Tip number 2 about being a better listener. This is something that helps me. This is a personal trick that has always been something that helps me when I need to engage somebody and be genuinely listening to what they're saying. I always picture in my mind, hey, I have to write this down in a book, or I have to tell somebody about this later. And if I have to tell somebody about it later, then I need to really soak in what they're saying. It makes me more attentive. It helps me be more focused. Almost like I think of it when I'm listening to somebody like I am an interviewer, like I am getting ready to do this big press release on the news channel. And so I really want to hear what they're about to say. Now, keep in mind, I'm not remembering this. I'm just thinking this in my head. I'm not actually going to be telling anybody else about what somebody's telling me, unless it's something public that needs to be known. But a lot of times people are talking to you and they're connecting to you in a private, personal way. So you don't want to divulge what they're saying. You want to keep that. But I want to hear it as if it's something I have to write down. I'm mentally writing it down, or it's something that I need to be able to tell somebody else later. So it's important that we listen with that kind of attentiveness, because people are looking for someone to really pay attention to them. So let's look and just pretend in the back of our mind that when we're talking to someone, that I'm gonna have to tell this to someone else later, or I'm gonna have to write this down, or I'm gonna have to put this in a newscast. And watch this will help you become more attentive to who you're listening to. Tip number 3: make eye contact. Don't be looking around the room. Don't be looking at your feet. Don't be looking at the ceiling, but make eye contact with people. Now, this might be hard for some of y'all, and I do realize that some of y'all that's new with your people skills, I'm making eye contact seems to be one of the most difficult things that people seem to learn how to do. But do it gradually, a little bit more. As you get in a conversation, make a little bit more eye contact, or maybe even focus on. And I used to often tell my kids this when they would do public speaking, or they would be in a situation where they had to sing. When I was teaching some young people, and I would tell them, look at one eye or look at the other eye. Don't look at both eyes. You don't have to square up on somebody, but look at one of the eyes and just kind of be paying attention to their making eye contact. Now, this will come natural. And what I don't want you to do is be thinking, oh, I got to make eye contact. I got to make eye contact. I got to make eye contact. And then you're missing what they're saying. Now, I don't mean to that level, but I mean that you need to generally be looking at a person. There's nothing more rude than you're trying to have a conversation with somebody and they seem like they're totally disconnected because they're not even looking at you. So make sure you're looking at the person. This is a key tip, but it's often overlooked. That you're looking at the person that is wanting you to listen to what they have to say. And it may be something simple about their day, or it could be something, a real deep, important conversation that they want to have with you. So make sure if you want to connect, that you're going to connect through the eyes. People connect through the eyes. You have to be able to make eye contact. Okay, tip number 4. Put down your cell phone. People aren't going to try to talk to you while you're looking at your cell phone. If you're going to engage and truly listen to somebody, that means turn off the TV, put down the cell phone, turn off the radio, and stop and show. If you want to really connect with somebody, stop and show them that you are making an effort to listen to what they have to say. So, and if there's something important, let's say you have a very important text, or you have a very important thing that you have to do on your phone, then you are better off to say to that person, let me finish this text real quick because I really want to hear what you have to say. Make them feel important. That what you have to say is important enough that, but this is important also. So I need to lay this aside. So make sure you put down your cell phone, put down the gadgets, put down the distractions, and focus in on the person that is talking to you. You'll come to find that it will mean much to them. It will really matter to them that you are taking the time to focus strictly on them. Tip number 5. Summarize. Say back to people what they have just said to you. But here's the thing. Don't be defensive and don't be aggressive. Just say back what they said to you. Like, for example, somebody's saying, hey, the other day my car got stolen and they found it at the Walmart parking lot. Thank God we found it. And they go, oh, wow, your car got stolen? Man, that's awesome that they found it. You see, that's responding back to what they're saying, that you're listening to what they're saying. One thing that's rude to do is when they go, oh, my car is, oh, that happened to me once too, and you get conversation, you're not listening. You're hearing what you want to hear to stir your own thoughts. People are interested in themselves, and if you are interested in people, you'll be interested in them. And if you find that you're interested in them, then you're going to be paying attention to what they have to say. And the way that you show that you're paying attention to what they have to say is that you're saying some of what they're saying to you back to them to show them that you are listening. I used to always say this to my kids when I taught school for a little while, and when I did, my kids would come to me and they would say things, and I would show them a math problem or how to do an English problem or something of that nature. And when I'd show them the math problem, I would always say to them, okay, now pretend like I don't know what I'm doing. Show me back what I'm doing. And it would let me know if the kids were truly listening and getting what I was saying. So if you can give back to them, they say that you really don't understand a subject until you are able to teach it. And so I would always make sure that my kids understood something until they were able to teach it to me. And it's this kind of same idea with listening. If you will summarize for them and you say something like, if they're talking to you, then you kind of say back to them what they are saying to you. That first requires you to have to do the previous steps. You got to focus. You got to put down distractions. You got to pay attention. You got to really be listening, and then repeat back some of what they're saying to you, and it lets them know that you actually get what they're saying. Tip number 6 I give you, and keep in mind, this is not an exhaustive list. There's a lot of little things that can help with listening. This is just something to kind of get you focused and get you started on being a good listener. So tip number 6, you are not the great Swami. So quit trying to think you know what they're thinking, okay? Quit trying to mind read. Just listen. Don't try to assume what they're going to say. Don't try to finish their sentences for them. Just listen. If they're struggling to come up with the words, keep listening. Keep listening. Let them come out with the words. Don't put words in their mouth. Don't mind read what they're trying to think. Because a lot of times it makes it seem like you're just trying to be smarter than they are. And you're better off not to do that. I've come to find in my personal experience, you're better off not to do that because it just makes you look like you're trying to overtake the conversation. You know, there are people struggling with the words, and sometimes it does help to help them a little bit along with especially if somebody's trying to get something out that's really hard for them to get out. But don't try to mind read or feel their feelings for them. Just let them, in their own expressive way, come out with what they're going to say. And I'm guilty of this. I have had to work on this because this is something that has been a personal issue of mine. Is I'm like, oh, come on, let's get this conversation done. Let's wrap this thing up. So, but we don't want to have that mindset with people. If you want to truly connect with people and you want to truly be a person that people connect to, you do not want to have that mindset with people. So don't try to read their mind. You are not that smart. Do not read their mind. Let them express themselves. Tip number 7. Now, this one's a little bit out of the box, a little odd. You're probably thinking, this seems kind of like an odd thing to say when it comes to listening. But honestly, you cannot be good for people until you're first good for you. No, even the Bible says to love thy neighbor as thyself. So how can you love thy neighbor if you don't love thyself? Does that make sense? You've got to understand you. So you got to take care of you. When you are taken care of, when the things are good with you, it's so much harder to listen to someone when everything about your life is chaos. You don't get the right sleep. You don't get the right exercise. You're in all kinds of calamity of your own. And it's hard to be a good listener when your things are a total disarray and a total mess. And I don't know, we've all been there. We've all had things that are pressing our heart, pressing our mind. It may not be a good time for you to really engage, listen to somebody until you've worked through some of your issues to where you feel stable. You feel like you can keep your calm, and something they say is not going to stir your emotions up in a way that you're going to get off on your own frenzy. So it's really important that you have that stability of mind. To me, exercise helps with that. A good diet helps with that. To me, just feeling better about myself, doing things that help me feel better about myself helps me become a better listener and better engaged with people because I'm more confident in who I am. So you work on who you are and being confident in who you are, and you will become a better listener just naturally. Okay, tip number 8. And this one is a hard one for me. So I'm not just preaching at you, I'm preaching at me on this one. When you listen, just listen. I know that sounds hard. That sounds so simple, but it is so difficult. Just listen. Don't jump in. Don't interrupt. Don't try to take over the conversation. Just listen. Don't offer advice. Don't, unless they specifically ask you for advice. And even then, I've come in the habit of saying, are you wanting me to listen, or do you want my advice, or you just need me to listen? And 8 out of 10 times, most people say, I'm just trying to get some things off my chest. I'm sorry, I don't mean to unload this on you, but you're so easy to talk to, or something of that nature. Those are things that are important, that when we go to connect with people, that we're not trying to solve the world's problems for them. We're there to listen. Most of the time, I've come to find that people can work through their own problems and find their own solutions if we will just shut up and let them. You know, and then they may ask, well, what do you think? Well, you know, maybe I should do this. What do you think? And then you can give honest opinion, and then you ask, are you asking my opinion, or you just need somebody to listen? Either way, make sure that you are there to just listen. Okay? If they specifically ask for advice and you feel like you can give adequate advice, be very cautious still, because a lot of times that can put you in a danger zone. Remember, the whole purpose of this is to connect with people. It is to have a better rapport with people and a better approach with people. And being able to be a listen and just listen is key to this. Not interrupting, not over interjecting, not over advising, but just listen. Number 9. And here are some things that this is one that a lot of people, even well-minded people, kind of don't know how to handle, don't know how to deal with. And that is dealing with the limitations that you have. You've got to be upfront about that. Don't go and rushing somebody along. You're better off to stop and say, look, My mind's distracted right now. I'm busy taking care of a problem that I have to take care of right now. I need to take care of this phone call. I need to take care of this. And be honest about your limitations. Say, I can't talk right now. But, if we can get together here in about 10 to 15 minutes, let me get this problem taken care of. Or maybe this afternoon or maybe tomorrow I'll have some free time. And I'm going to come over and I want you to tell me all about this. Because I really want to be able to hear you. Let people know your limitations. It shows your sincerity. It shows your honesty. It makes you a real person. You're not just... that you want to be there for people to unload on when it's time for them to unload, but you got to do it when you know that you have the ability to focus. So don't be afraid to let people know that, I'm busy right now. I'll call you back here in about an hour or so, or I'll call you back whenever the time frame is that works for you, and say, look, right now I'm focused on something else, and I want to be able to give you my undivided attention. So be honest about your limitations, and it will speak volumes with people, volumes, because not only then are you a person that they feel they can talk to, but they feel that you're going to be honest with them and you're going to have integrity about things because you were honest with them about their situations, and they feel like even more so they can trust you because you have laid out your limitations. You have boundaries. You have a sense of prioritizing, and that is something that people look for. They long for. They want somebody in their life that way. So you want to become a people person. You got to be able to express your limitations at the time that you need to express them. And last but certainly not least, tip number 10: share a similar situation. Now, take this with a grain of salt. Take this with caution and wisdom. Okay, but if you've been talking with someone and been conversing with someone and you have a similar situation that is relatable, now this does not mean overpower their conversation and do it right at the beginning. Oh yeah, that happened to you. Well, let me tell you what happened to me. I don't. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when somebody has given you, just, it goes deeper than advice and opinion. Is if you've gone through a similar situation to help yourself be relatable to that person. And do it for the sake. Remember, this is about being people. So we're learning to connect with people. So you want to use a similar situation not to impress them or to let them think that, I know everything you're thinking or feeling. But a lot of times being relatable in a similar, oh yeah, your mom passed away last year? Yeah, my mom passed away a few years back too. I can only imagine how that must feel. That's got to be very difficult for you right now. That's different than going, your mom passed away? Well, my mom passed away like this. And let me tell you how much more big deal it was for me than it was for you right now. You see the difference in the attitudes? You want to make sure that if you bring up a similar situation, that you're for the sake of connectability, not for the sake of impressibility, okay? Be able to share a similar situation is very helpful. If you do not have a similar situation, don't try to make any old thing fit. It's just not the case. Just listen and be empathetic and say, I can only imagine what you may be going through, or I can only imagine how that made you feel. Open-ended questions are always great. And boy, how did that make you feel? I could, just keeping that block open. But if you have a relatable situation, now this is only if you have one. Do not compare apples and oranges here, okay? Be cautious. Make sure that your situation is actually relatable to their situation. And so when you do that, it will create more rapport. It will create more of a connection with somebody. It will create more of a connectivity if you have that similar situation. If you don't, be empathetic. People would rather you be honest than trying to force than try to impress them. Nobody's impressed with people that are trying to impress. So what you want to do is just be more impressed with the other person and more in tune and interested in what they're going on than trying to impress them with your stories. But if you have something similarly relatable, it's okay to be relatable. Just don't overtake the conversation. Okay, well, there you have it. 10 tips on being a better listener. If you like what you heard today, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. If you're going through something and maybe you need a good listener, I'll do the best that I can, but you're more than welcome to email me at hart.lucas@yahoo.com. We have a website that's going to be coming up soon, and once that website comes out, of course, we'll direct everything there. And we are in the process of building it, and it is getting itself to that place. Hopefully, within the next few months, we will have a full website and opportunities for you to get one-on-one help with whatever in particular situation, whether it be a relationship situation. Maybe it's to help you be better connected in a business sense. Maybe it's to help you be better connected with just making friends in general. Perhaps it's helping with your marriage. Perhaps it's helping with the relationship with your children. Whatever the case may be, I want to be able to one-on-one help you with your situations. This is a passion of mine. It is something I love to see, people connected with people. So if you're needing help in any way, by all means, for right now, if it's serious and you would like my help, email me, hart.lucas@yahoo.com. Or if you want to wait till our website comes out, you'll find it here. Just subscribe below so you know when our new content's coming out, and just be on top of whatever we have that's coming out. Feel free to comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know maybe something in your situation. Maybe there's something I'm missing here about listening. I don't claim to be a know-it-all. So if you know something that's always been a help to you, put it in the comments below. We'd love to hear it. We'd love to have your input. So until next time, I'm Lucas Hart, and thank you for watching People.